Nice guys finish last. That's why I'll treat you like trash. It's not what I really want to do.
Of course, that's a classic,
but girls only think that guy, so I'll give it my best try to treat you the way you want me to.
What's up, brother?
Yo, Roy, what's good, dude? How are you, man?
Doing good, bro. I'm doing good. Just got out of my my 1 hour scroll sesh for the meeting with all the interns. So
yeah, gotta do some prep. Gotta do some prep,
bro. I got the algorithm hot on my mind right now, bro.
Everyone's talking about deep work. We gotta bring some shallow work back into business.
Dude, bro, deep work is a thing of the past, bro. Like 04 mini just removed all deep work. From now on, everybody just needs to scroll more.
I completely agree. That's the biggest problem I think we have in our society is people are not scrolling enough.
This is what I think. I think when you know that a cultural shift is happening, you just gotta be in the eye of the storm. You know everyone's scrolling, like you just gotta embrace that this shift is happening, and you just gotta hope that there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
I completely agree. May the best scroller win.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we have a weekly screen time contest at the office, and whoever has the most screen time.
I think you set the new bar for what needs to happen at an SF party. 2,000 people invited and shut down by the cops.
Bro, it wasn't even 2,000 invited. We literally sent out like 300 invites. It was supposed to be like a small party. I walked outside. It's like 9:45. There's like 15 random Chinese Indian kids like just chilling out there, and it was pretty fried.
Random Chinese Indian kids is just nomenclature for the technology industry, right?
Yeah, just like random.
I love how we go. Random Chinese Indian kids is as
none of them had
I know you're from Seoul, and I'm from Egypt, but to most people, we're basically Chinese and Indian. So
the yellow brown men of Silicon Valley, bro.
We're holding this industry up, man. We're the majority. It's nice that we have some like minority white folk in the industry.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like we got our white intern here, bringing some color back to the office, and it's nice, bro. I love it, man.
Love that, dude. So, all right, we have a similar resentment of Harvard. I went to the extension school, not Harvard College, and so I was always treated like a second-class citizen.
Okay.
Wasn't allowed in the dorms, or I was allowed in the dorms.
Got it.
Wasn't allowed to have a dorm.
Yeah.
Ended up like renting out a frat to just,
Yeah.
You can imagine.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
But yeah, tell me about that. I know you got rescinded from Harvard. How did that feel?
Bro, this was like the craziest moment of my life. Like I'm super polarizing right now, but it's not like I just I spawned like this. My earliest possible memory was from me in kindergarten. It was like show and tell. Like this is the first earliest memory I ever have was like me in kindergarten, show and tell. Like I was just plotting ways and how I could get more of the class to like have like a reaction to my show. And I would just go up and I would make shit up, like make crazy shit up that people would react to. And this has been like on for the rest of my life. So there's always been a camp of like Roy lovers and Roy haters. And this like blew up in senior year when like I got the suspension for sneaking out of a school field trip, and there was like a camp of Roy haters just rushed to report this to Harvard. And I ended up getting rescinded for that. And this is like the reason this is so crazy because my parents run a college admissions consulting company. So it's like their job is to train people to get into Harvard. And the son gets kicked out of Harvard. Yes, so we had to keep this under like extremely tight wraps.
Wow, this was like a generational fumble.
That's what I'm saying. This is like nightmare, worst case scenario for me.
Wow.
Yeah, but we just said you have the same application in the year. Like just stay low, stay quiet, and let's just stay at home and train and level up. And next year you go to a different college. But that was a crazy year, man. Like I literally feel like I'm the most extroverted person in the world. And if I don't go 8 hours without talking to someone, like I'll start tweaking. I have withdrawal symptoms from not talking to people. And man, just being alone.
That's contrarian in this industry, that's for sure.
I don't know. There's like way too many introverted tech bros. Like I feel like this is the problem with marketing, man. Like, we'll get into that later. But I mean, like for about like a full year, I was just talk to nobody but my parents. I think that's when I broke all of my social limitations too. Like I feel like there's too many people that worry about like, X person thinks Y of me and like random bullshit like that. And like I broke all limitations. I got circumcised during that year, and like I had to wear a dick cast for 6 months. And while I was in bed, I got a nose job during that year. It's like bro, if I can look better with a nose job, I'm gonna get a nose job.
Damn, respect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like I feel like that's when
What prompted the circumcision decision?
Circumcision? And I don't want to get too deep into it, but it was quite long, and there was some build up and there was some health concerns, and I'd always wanted it. But like, when else am I gonna have 6 months to walk around like like immobilized in bed with
Yeah.
the podcast on.
Have you been getting good reviews from
Good
the
reviews? Amazing. Always.
Okay, perfect.
Always.
Good to hear.
Yeah. I think generally more people need, like maybe not to that
So
extent.
speaking on too long, Andreesen Horowitz is very long on you.
Yes.
You recently raised 15 mil from A16Z.
Yeah.
They pretty much just did it over a week. How did that feel and how did that go down?
It was like, we weren't even thinking about a fundraise because this happened like 2 months after we already raised our seed. And then, they just came like immediately as soon as we got to San Francisco. I think they'd been following me for a little bit. They were interested in what I was doing. They came to see the office. And then pretty much they just like, we talked for a little bit and they just asked, hey, just download the Stripe. If you want more money, we can get you more money. And, I just sent them a link of the Stripe and, they just immediately gave me like a term sheet pretty much.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I love those guys. I love my partners, man.
Yeah, just being able to have people that get deep conviction and just are like, all right, let's do this.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
the way.
saying. Yeah. I think there's a lot of novel envelopes that I'm pushing here, but I think what like the single biggest envelope is like the controversial marketing. And, if you're on board with that, then like in my opinion, you're on my green list.
Where do you get the inspiration, from that from?
Dude, this is why I keep saying like people need to scroll, and I'm on record saying this, but like the tech community and generally the ex-LinkedIn professional community, these guys, their humor is conservatively 2 years behind Instagram, TikTok. If any person who posts a hate comment on my Twitter would see like even 10 minutes of what my Instagram feed looks like, their brains would melt and explode. Like people do not understand how far humor and culture has developed. And
Yeah.
I really feel like a few months ago, when I first joined X, I was scrolling through my feed wondering, why does this look so different from my IG TikTok? Why do I not see like the same sort of crazy videos? Like why is it just boring shit post after boring shit post? But like as soon as I started testing my hypothesis that, these things have parallels, like it just blew up and I became massively viral.
My ex is pretty much just like Cluely video, bomb dropping in the Middle East. Cluely video, bomb dropping in the Middle East. Like that's pretty much, it's pretty much my feed right now, which is wild.
Yeah. Had a pretty strong hold on the timeline recently.
Yeah, what a crazy time. All right, let's talk product for a second. Okay. So the coolest part about your product is the fact that it is just integrating into your existing work.
Yeah.
You have all these cool like translucent screens that make it non-obstructive. How do you think of the Cluely vision beyond just it existing on laptops?
Man, like I feel like Apple's new launch of Liquid Glass, I mean, everyone is getting trained for a world where AI will be integrated into your life, and it seems like the best UX designers are angling towards this world of a translucent overlay. And I think like we were first to move on this, but like generally, I mean, whether this looks like glasses, whether it's contact lenses, whether the technology develops way faster than we thought and we get brain chips, it is inevitable that this is going to be like beyond digital and like physical. And we're betting, but we're pretty big on that. There's a lot of money to be made in software right now, but I mean, like, if you really want to change the world with AI, then
BCIs.
Yeah, you build BCIs, man.
Yeah, completely agree. Cluely and a BCI would be pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the real $1 trillion opportunity with Cluely is completely defining what the human AI interface looks like. And I genuinely think right now we're probably the first to launch the translucent overlay, like out of any mainstream company. And it's clear that like we have incumbents like Apple following on, and like it's clear that we are erring towards the correct product direction. I just think like if there's anyone with the taste and ability to distribute that can actually build what the new interface looks like, I think it's the Cluely team, man.
Yeah, I love the very tasteful product and very distasteful posting. That combination is wild.
You know, I feel like people are only going to think it's distasteful for so long until culture shifts. Like truly, I think like we live in a world where if you're an engineer, you go to work in a hoodie and sweatpants and you should not have a suit in your closet. Like you go back in time, even like 10, 20 years, like everyone wore a suit and tie. If you didn't, you weren't a professional. It's distasteful. I feel like the bar for taste moves and it moves towards what society deems is acceptable. And I think generally,
what do your parents think of all this?
Dude, my parents, like before I got into Harvard, they were hella on my ass. When I got into Harvard, they were off my ass.
Gotcha.
When I got kicked out from Harvard, they were hella on my ass again. When I got back into Columbia, at this point, they had so much like off my ass fatigue that they were just permanently off my ass. And, when I said I was gonna drop out, they were like, "Oh, you should have done it sooner." Like, well, why did you stay in school for the extra second semester?
Okay, I kind of respect that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's kind of good advice, honestly.
They're the go parents, man. They're the go parents.
What a crazy thing to add to their marketing for the college admission stuff.
Yeah,
I'm curious how that impacts their bottom line right now.
Dude, honestly, I don't even know if the Korean people over there know. Like, I feel like we're so hyper dominant in tech right now, but I mean, the real world is so big. That's what I keep telling people. Like we completely took over ex-LinkedIn for like a little bit, but like in reality, that's not where the entire world lives. Like there's so many more real people that are on IG, TikTok, and like you don't realize how small the tech bubble is until you try and escape out of it.
Yes. The localized tech fame is such an interesting thing. Even if you aren't really doing all that much, people will start to recognize you in the tech community.
That's what I'm saying.
And start to feel really gassed up by it. Because
Exactly.
your immediate network's like, yo, you're the GOAT right now. Oh, I know you love that term, but
In reality, you've got like fucking 3,000 followers and maybe like a post that did 100K impressions. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, easy.
Well, what I've learned is that probably if you do 40 to 50K impressions, you've hit pretty much every single person in tech Twitter.
Yeah.
And it is crazy how small it is.
Yeah, 100%. And no, I was at a bar the other day. I know I shouldn't be doing that, but I was at one, and
Yeah.
SF bars, you have like, primarily you have tech bros, you have marina bros, and then there's the ladies.
Right.
A couple tech bros like walked up to me and they're like, "Oh, I've seen your videos," and I was like, "Okay, I know this is never going to happen with like an attractive woman at a bar who's going to walk up to you and be like, oh my god, I've seen you on the internet." Like, I've niched down so hard into like the tech industry that I'm so cooked.
It's brutal, man. But there's also like 5 girls in San Francisco anyways, man. This is the one thing that I miss about New York City. New York City, you walk around and you see like 100 beautiful women. You will get distracted, but it'd be like a bright point in your day. But here in SF, you just do it after dude, man. It's the tech bro capital of the world.
It is the tech bro capital. Even if I tried to make it more diverse, I don't even like.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's okay. Once we're past the Series B, then we can start getting girlfriends and all that.
And what are your thoughts on? I know the Cluely motto is cheat on everything. Does that apply to girlfriends?
Are
you single right now?
I'm single right now. Unfortunately, my last girlfriend, like we had a falling out about a month ago, and I'm freshly back on the market. But to be honest, like I feel like there's so much work to do at the company. Like we're 6 days a week, but honestly, it feels like 7 days a week. Like it feels weird not working, and I don't know where a girl would slot into my life.
Well, maybe she engineer or like either. I mean, it's either engineering or distribution. That's how she'd slot in.
No, I feel like she can't like be working at the company. Like that feels weird to me.
True.
There would be so many harassment calls. Yeah, we couldn't do that.
Yeah, couldn't do that. So I guess no point.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like I was not wired this way, man. I feel like biologically, straight men are wired in a way to like you need a girl to come back home to. Like back in the day, 4,000 years ago, our ancestors, they would go out hunting for the day with their boys, but they'd always come back to like their cave woman wife, man. And I feel like I'm doing the hunting with my boys, but I've been on the hunt for too long, man.
No, it's been a month.
No, I'm talking about like the startup grind. When I think about 7 years with no girlfriend, bro, it scares me, man. It scares me.
Yeah, no, that's the likely pathway.
Do not say that.
The second, I've primarily lived in San Francisco, but I've also done Los Angeles, New York.
Yeah.
The second you're in this city, there's just this like gravitational kind of, actually it's the opposite of it's this repulsive force where
that's what I'm saying.
anyone who may be attracted to you just gets like
I feel it
out of existence. I can't even explain how it works, but
I got uglier moving to San Francisco, and every girl got way prettier.
And that's the thing, there's something in the air that allows these amazing company outcomes to happen. Because I mean that's kind of a primary distraction for a lot of people, and
that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna be celibate until the company IPOs.
Yes, then you gotta move fast. I support that. I've also had this issue with like where do I slot it in? I'm working all the time and I enjoy working, but there's no
That's what I'm saying.
There's no way to do both, man. It's so tough.
Even at the company, like, we pay for Hinge ads for every one of our employees. Every single date you go on is sponsored because, like, for us, we consider like this is what an offsite should. The ideal offsite, the ideal mental health day should look like a date with a beautiful girl. But it's unfortunate because it's like you can't even bring them back because the office is packed full, like 15 people. You can't. There's really not much you can do here, man. It's hard. It's hard.
So yeah, now that your focus is all in on the company, what are you most excited by internally?
I feel like very few people in the world can say that they're pioneering something to the degree that we're pioneering startup marketing. I think already you see like gigantic tremors and changes in the way that startups are beginning to do launch videos. Even if you look at the latest batch of YC launches, the proportion of them that are cinematic and try to emulate the feel of what Chloe did, it's way higher than it's ever been. Like, there's never been more movie type YC launch videos than before. And I think people are beginning to realize that there's lessons to be learned here already. And I think that they're trying to copy the playbook, but I think we're very advanced in this, and it's pretty crazy because it's very hard to make any sort of bet on where this is headed, because in the bull case we changed the entire culture of professionalism forever, and in that case all of a sudden it's very palatable for us to be able to sell to enterprise. Like, we've pushed through and we've changed culture to the extent that we are no longer distasteful, we're just status quo. And that's like a hard, like, how can you bet on that? Like nobody can make an accurate prediction on whether that will be the case or not. And also there's the question of all this marketing, like, is it going to convert? How converting is it going to be? How sustainable is it going to be? How much algo pull could you possibly have? And I think every single day I'm getting proven wrong that, oh wow, I guess I can't just do it again and do it again and do it again. And like, people on X LinkedIn just won't catch on to the fact that there's like mastery of the algorithm that is required. But like, the question is like, how long can I do this for? And if so, like, how much can I wring out of the engagement while I'm still in the limelight? There's like so many unanswered questions, and it makes it hard to plot the trajectory of the company. But
how do you balance the initiatives towards virality versus needing to also be building product and working on engineering and the company side of things as well?
Yeah, I mean, we have really distinct and separate roles. We have 7 people that work full time on just their only purpose is make the company and product go as viral as possible. And we have our engineers who do not think about virality at all. All they do is think about product. And right now, like, I think a lot of people don't understand, they forget this, but the company, like, we wrote the first line of code 10 to 11 weeks ago. We're earlier than like even the earliest companies of the last YC batch.
Wow.
Like, we are heads down building product, but I think the unique benefit of going so viral is now, compared to everyone else, we have like every single viral post you make, there's another 10,000 users who come on, and 1,000 of them will like send complaints saying, hey, here's exactly what's wrong with your product, here's why it's unusable. Okay, bet, thank you for giving me the product roadmap. Now we know exactly which features to build, and
fascinating.
Yeah, it's much easier to iterate towards PMF this way.
Yeah, having all that data and people that are really excited to talk to you, almost as a tech celebrity at this point.
Exactly.
That's cool. Have people started treating you any differently?
Honestly, I really don't leave the office for that much, so it's hard to tell. But the few company outings and dinners we do, like, maybe I'll get recognized once or twice, but it is really not as large scale as people like to think it is. Like, I really think if I walked around San Francisco with a shirt that says Cluey, like, maybe a few people would recognize me, but...
Have you tried it?
No, I haven't. Like, the merch is coming. All
right, I'm curious to hear how that goes.
Yeah, we're probably gonna drop like $100,000 on. We have a crazy thing we're doing with the merch too. You will see the Cluey merch everywhere, man. You have no idea.
I'll give you my address.
Of course, rep it.
I'll check for its mail. Dude. So Eric Zhu, whom we're both close friends with, actually introduced me to Max Marchione, who put us in touch, and it seems like all of you guys have this super strong grip on the algorithm. You know, Eric Zhu pioneered a lot of the memery in the venture world, then ended up raising a $25 million fund,
right?
Raising a few million for a startup. Any inspiration from him? And do you guys ever chat about this stuff?
Yeah. Like almost everything I do is inspired in some way by one of Eric's antics. I don't even think he knows this personally, but like the whole 50 intern stunt, that's directly inspired by, like, I visited this sperm racing house, and they literally had like 12 people living there. It was just like a frat house. I thought, like, holy shit, these guys, they don't have the money to do this at scale, but just imagine what it looks like if we actually did a proper frat house. that's what got us thinking about 50 interns and like a lot of our marketing plays off of X-LinkedIn. Like, man, a lot of people really underestimate or like undervalue the true marketing genius that was behind Fundraising. But they got almost like 500 million organic views off essentially like a budget of nothing.
Yeah.
And this is like almost an impossible task. Like if I would bet money, I could not bet money that anybody in the Valley could do this. Like not one single person except Eric Xu.
Yes. Eric's exceptional at that. Started really young, and he just feels like he's native to understanding how the algorithm works. And to an extent, it's cool to see this upcoming generation be AI native, but they're also so algorithm native. Like, I feel like they have this intuition on certain people have this intuition on what hits.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in reality, like in parallel with AI and everything, like...
Yo, hold up. Does that In-N-Out have a drive-thru?
It could.
All right, I said it.
Okay, let's do it. I think one of the other biggest things that has changed culturally and has allowed for companies to grow so quickly is that now attention, like the ability to grab attention, is essentially democratized. Like many years ago, if you didn't pay for a commercial, you weren't going to get seen by millions of people. Mm-hmm. As a result, everything was like pristine, clear, zero controversialness. And then YouTube came, and all of a sudden, like if you had a production video and you could put out like a 5-10 minute interesting skit, like you could be seen by millions.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden there's short form, and now literally if you put out a 10-second video, like of you saying anything at all, you have the capability to get seen by millions. I think this is like probably maybe like a bigger societal lever than like AI even. Like the ability to capture hundreds of millions of eyeballs. Never before in human history has it been this easy.
So now that it's exceptionally easier, a lot easier to capture millions of eyeballs.
Right.
How do you think about the quality of attention and the ability for that attention to actually convert to, enterprise value or whatever your objective may be?
I think what, like, this is like a recent thing that I've learned, but the quality of attention does not matter so much when you can do it like over and over and over again. And
interesting.
Imagine you just had a magical button that every time you click it, it would generate you millions of views. Every time you click it, you would get 10,000 new customers, and you get 4 staff engineers who are excited about you pushing the button and want to work with you. And sometimes it will be a quality push the button. Sometimes you get way more customers, and sometimes you get way more engineers, and sometimes you get just a few. Like, how many times would you press that button? Exactly. It'd be infinite. And if you have like right now, there's this giant delta where just X-LinkedIn haven't tapped into the new algorithm, and there's people trying to learn. They're trying to learn. Like after seeing my playbook, but like right now, I am in the forefront of this. And if that's the case, then you press that button no matter how many times.
It's interesting because it's a perfect fit with Andreessen Horowitz backing your company, given A16Z's roots are very tied with the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Having worked a lot with CAA, I think Mark Andreessen was very early on this idea of the value of media and brand and distribution in an industry that has for a very long time been very introverted and product driven. And while I think product drive is great, products don't mean anything unless they're distributed.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially in the world of consumer, like, it is very, very rarely that a significantly better UX actually becomes the moat. And even if it is, like, you don't really have IP on the UX, you just, anybody can rip your UX. Really, I don't think, like, a fundamentally better product is ever the distinguishing factor for consumer even. And then, like, truly, it is just who can get the most eyeballs on a product that has some semblance of market fit.
Interesting. Because, with engineering, you can sort of race to feature parity and have a product that's as good, but with more distribution, you have more resources to also make the engineering better, which is...
Yeah, exactly.
Which is interesting. Do you feel like the engineers want to be more involved with the virality side of things? Or, because it's a really interesting decision you're making on sort of
siloing them,
firewalling them a bit from each other.
Yeah, I mean, we firewall them a bit, but like generally the marketing discussions are like led by the company. We make choices based on what the marketing team tells us they need. We have we're pulling in about like close to 50 million views a month on Instagram, TikTok. This is like our first month. And
nice.
We can see which trends are coming up and which hooks we need to be able to capitalize on. And then they'll tell us like, hey, we need a feature that will let you like ask AI about your last meetings. So then that is the immediate feature that we'll add.
Wow.
Like among other things. So there's like some closeness here, and the engineers do contribute pretty heavily to like the viral marketing ideas. I mean, everyone there is pretty young and brain rotted, so you know, the capacity to have a viral idea can come from anybody.
Young and brain rotted is the way.
Exactly, literally.
Question: how do you think about virality within this like niche tech bubble versus more mainstream virality to you know, on TikTok, on Instagram, especially given you're both a consumer product, but also a bulk of your revenue comes from enterprise customers.
Yeah. I mean, how do I think about it in like what dimension?
Like, is it the same approach to get virality on TikTok and Instagram as it is on Twitter?
Oh, no, not at all. Like Twitter, the quality of the post matters a lot. There's not enough quantity in tech Twitter there's not enough scrollers in tech Twitter for like truly shit posts and like true brain rot to go viral. Meaning that you have to sort of cater your posts to be like high quality and engagement baity in a way that is exclusive to X LinkedIn. I really think like I've mastered the X algorithm, and I can like before tweet is even made, I can predict within like plus minus 50% how many likes or views it will get. And this is something that I'm able to do for my own account at least. And I truly think that I've like pretty much figured out what the algorithm wants. But like IG TikTok is a completely different beast altogether. And like that's why I have a marketing team full of like IG influencers. Like they understand what they're doing. And oftentimes when I see the playbook, it's like I can't even understand. Like it's brain rotted even for me. Yeah, but this is the benefit of having people who are tapped into different algorithms. Like there's different algos, and TikTok algo is very different from IG algo, is different from X algo.
Fascinating, and I do very much agree with that. Thinking about your cross-platform strategy, do you have like different people assigned to different algorithms, or how do you think about distribution across these platforms?
Yeah. I mean, right now we have. Like everyone contributes to it's more different content forms that we assign people to rather than different algorithms. Like for example, we have one person who only does UGC, and Katie, she runs the entire UGC campaign. She sources new people doing UGC. She trains them, and she helps come up with like viral hooks for them to use. We have one person who's solely on influencer marketing, and he looks for people 25, 50, 100K followers that have hot algo pull in our niche. We'll email them and try to do like sponsored posts with them, and that's like a different thing altogether. We have one person who's in charge of deciding like the universe of like the Clueyverse on IG TikTok, and that will essentially look like, you know, what Duolingo did with Duo, but we're gonna do with like Clue the Fox, which is like some crazy dude in a fursuit.
Interesting choice on the fursuit. Clever.
Exactly. If we're just gonna
really tapping into the brain rot.
Yeah. And we can market these content formats different ways. Like on X, I'll do like a long form. Here's how we get X views on Instagram with the UGC campaign, and people on X will eat that up. Or I'll post a picture of a fursuit and like saying like, what the fuck is going on at Cluey HQ, and people will eat that up. And there's different ways that you can market it for the different algos, but
clever.
Yeah. The content variety is what
it's interesting, because even from day one, there's always been this like polarizing shock factor element from when you had the first iteration of the product called fuck leak code. So it always had that like tinge of that element in there even from day zero. And you've kind of kept that ethos in the DNA of the company as you've grown it.
Yeah. I think like it was really impactful to have my first viral moment be that of a viral situation. Cause I like the whole interview coder situation where I get kicked out of Columbia and like blacklisted from Amazon. Like this is an inherently viral situation. There's almost no universe where that doesn't go viral.
Wait. Tell me about the blacklisted from Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, it's the V1 of the cheat on everything tool is the cheat on software engineering technical interview tool, the cheat on leak code interview tool. And I built that in my dorm, and I called it Interview Coder. It would look at your screen, take a screenshot, and it would answer the coding question on the screen. And the UX felt very similar to Cluey. And I used that I recorded myself using it to get an offer at Amazon. I posted it publicly. It got like 100,000 views. Amazon took it down like 3 times. And it ended up getting kicked out of Columbia because they looped me into disciplinary hearings about academic integrity or some bullshit. And that situation went hyper viral on X, probably like 250 million views across platforms. And it was a pretty crazy fucking situation.
How do you think the way people think about cheating will change?
I think it's not even cheating that we're trying to redefine here. It's the fact that it is inevitable that society is going to look at AI usage and say, this is cheating. Like this happens today. And they're going to be very uncomfortable with the fact that more people are using AI in more places than they should be. But, in reality, people will adapt. And you see like societal changes like this already happening. I mean, AI note takers, like, it would be really weird 20 years ago to posit the idea that I'm going to have like a machine listening in on the entire audio and we're going to record this. And then all of a sudden the AI note takers became like not members of the call. And now like with granola and it's like, oh, an invisible note taker. Like, so you're just going to silently record me during the call. And like all of a sudden society has shifted for that to be the new norm. And, society shifts towards ways that like are more mainstream. If something is mainstream, then society will force it to be normal.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to popularize here.
Even just the culture of posting a lot more, having your stream of consciousness being dumped on whatever platform you're on. One of the things I've noticed is that people are having increasingly differing online personas versus real life personalities. So someone that may be, hyper controversial and polarizing online, people may map that as like, oh, they're probably a fucked up person in real life, but that's rarely true. How do you feel about this like dual persona thing that's happening?
Yeah, well, I think online you can never show 100% of who you are as a person because you can only afford to like essentially clip up the bits of your life that are most interesting. And for me, what that looks like is clipping up the most controversial things that I do, posting them online very brazenly. And as a result, people see that one slice of me and think, man, this guy's like a fucking tweaker. But in reality, like, I'm a pretty normal dude. It's just like once an hour, I'll have like a crazy thought and I'll say it. And like on the internet, like that'll just be me. And I think it's, cause like sometimes I'll make like an authentic comment online and people are going to be like, dude, like this is a different person. Who is this person?
Let's get these. What do you want to get?
Cause there's French fries and a Diet Coke.
Okay. Could I please get a plain double and fries?
Actually, could I also just cut the French fries? Could I just get a plain double and Diet Coke?
Get the fries. We'll get fries.
I'm on a diet, man.
So 2 double doubles plain, 2 fries, and 1 Diet Coke.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you.
All right, 2166.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Hold up. Let me.
Oh, no, I got it.
No, I got it, bro. I'm like a hotshot venture capitalist now.
Oh, you're a VC now? Oh, you got it, man. Oh, you got it. Okay. Yeah, but I think generally...
Let's just say the management fees aren't exactly stacked right now, but they'll get there.
Yeah, but like this, I'll get you good deal flow, brother.
Let's run
it. Essentially, I think online people crave authenticity, and like the controversial shit that I post, like it is authentically me. Like that is genuinely what I think, and it is not corporate. There's not a soul in the world who has craved more corporate bullshit advertising. Nobody in the world has ever wanted more of this. Every single person has wanted more authenticity, or at least more like
be authentic, be brain rotten, but like don't be boring. That is kind of the rule now.
Like admittedly, it is increasingly difficult for me to distinguish the person that people think I am online based off that sliver of my real life and like the person that I am in real life. But I think there's some people that I talk to and just like sit in a room thinking about it, like it helps.
Yeah, totally fair. How do you think about like new content formats and because I think it's very easy to just like find something that works and copy it, and I think that's a really good strategy, as well as coming up with something new. To what extent do you feel like it's about discovery of new things versus combination of existing?
Man, I feel like for content, there's like the world of content is almost one-to-one paralleled with the world of company building, except there is no such thing as IP, intellectual theft, or moats at all. And there will always be a trend that you can hop on. You can copy someone's video exactly word for word and they can't sue you or anything. Like there's nothing to be sued there. And you can guarantee that if you do the right things that they did, yours will also probably go viral. There are literally 1 million trends and like just as there are 1 million existing companies and company ideas that you can just copy and market better. But there are also like an infinite number of new trends that you can develop, and a lot of them will be like inspired off trends that you see nowadays, exactly as companies are. And like the question is like, how do you find a company with PMF? I mean, you just try and try again. For marketing, the iteration process is literally 10,000 times faster because all you're going to do, you don't have to build a company and to actually try it. You don't have to spend 6 months of your life doing anything. You just have to make a 10-second video and see if it hits. And like the exact same thought process of iteration, PMF, and like find a format that works in Double Down.
Hello, thank you.
We have two plain double double with is about only $1 enterprise.
Perfect, yeah.
2166, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but I mean,
All right.
the whole company building philosophy of find something that works in Double Down is exactly the same for
You know,
marketing.
Mark Andreessen has not been in this car, and we have not hit a drive-through. And A16Z is your investor, so I'm just
Cool, bro. The intros are there,
putting
man.
that out there. Did I get my card back? Oh yeah, I did. Okay,
Yeah, we'll get them all. We'll get them on.
that would be sick. Dude, he's so clippable.
Yeah, I
Something
know,
about
I know. The way he talks, the way he looks, he's just like,
Cheers, thank you. Yeah, that'd be great. Amazing, thank you. All right, you'll be in charge of making sure this doesn't fall.
I got you, brother.
Throw her on FSD. Dude, I haven't had In-N-Out in a minute. California classic, baby.
Bro, I haven't had this since, man, literally probably like 2 years since last time I was at community college here. Or maybe like 1 year, but I'm on a diet right now. I'm trying to get diced up for when I'm ready to have a girlfriend. You know.
I see your workout videos and stuff. Is like health and wellness a big part of?
I'm on a cut, bro. I'm on a cut.
Respect.
Yeah.
You should try Superpower. It helped me with like the my like testosterone levels were low, and then I worked on them, and it helped with a bunch of stuff.
Bro, sick. Yeah, I think Max is killing it, bro. Yeah, he's another member of the newer generation of founders that I think understands content more.
Yeah, he's great with content. Great with teams. Like it's really that cross-disciplinary skill of like who knows content, but also knows engineering and building teams, and the intersection of people that know all of these disparate skills is actually very few. It's pretty much like you, Max, Eric Zhu, and the technology brothers. Obviously, they've been crushing.
Yeah. I mean,
Jordy and John.
I think society, like the world, will begin to see that this becomes a lot more common as Gen Z founders get older. I mean, like I can literally tell that there's a huge content brain difference between me and older founders just because I grew up on like YouTube Shorts or like YouTube. Like I grew up on like Smosh and Niga Higa.
Same.
Yeah, and it's very clear that older people, they just don't understand it.
Nice guys finish last. That's why I'll treat you like trash. It's not what I really want to do.
Of course, that's a classic, bro.
Girls only take that guy, so I'll give it my best try to treat you the way you want me to. I never opened the door. I don't know. That is a certified bagger.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like no person over the age of 35 would understand we're singing here, right?
True. That song like changed my life. I was like, nice guys like do finish last. I need to be cooler.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's time to level up, man. It's time for you to get, bro. We can throw this in now.
I'm trying to gain weight, bro.
Huh?
I have so much trouble gaining weight. Where's Ozempic for getting bigger? I guess I would never work in a marathon.
Well, yeah. This is
Market size is like.
I probably, dude. I've been like sitting in the office like 12 hours a day looking at a computer now, and I literally feel the weight gain. Like it is great. Because back at Columbia, like my class was like 15 minutes away from my dorm, so I'd have to walk every single day like 10,000 steps, and now I'm doing like 300.
Dude, I feel that. Max has one of those like walking treadmill things while you're working. It's so effective, but I also think it's so dystopian, man.
Handsome. Max is hella handsome.
He's a handsome dude. I'm sure that's the thing. That actually is an edge. Like being good at marketing, being handsome, like these like classic LA advantages, I think are actually increasingly an advantage in San Francisco.
That's what I'm saying. More people need to hop on hard maxing, man. Like, it's very clear that, like the distinguishing, the difference between founder and creator is like so blurred right now.
Yeah.
And all the advantages for a founder are advantages now for creators.
The other thing is like, I also think there is the like influencerization or creatorization of everything where like if you work in real estate, you need to be an influencer.
Yes.
If you work in tech, you still need to be an influencer.
This is
if you're a musician, you definitely need to be an influencer.
This is why I'm saying, like, the big arbitrage opportunity in the world is maybe not AI, but the ability to just command attention at will. Like this is the big societal change that everyone has.
But I guess my pushback would be there's so many people that don't want to live their lives just like endlessly on this content treadmill.
Yeah.
There's a way to make it fun, right? Like there's a way to make content super like engaging and fun. The actual creation of the content needs to be fun.
Sure,
I think that's the key thing. When it feels like a chore, that's pretty dystopian.
I think if you're serious about building a company, I feel like you just have to be all in on things. And to be all in on building a company, it means, you know, you got to do the slog of like making viral content. This is like, there's been no better marketing opportunity in the history of humanity.
Yeah. Customer acquisition costs with this organic viral marketing are so low. Like, you cannot compete with ads.
I agree.
And even if you can compete with ads, the best ad formats are ones where it's organic viral content, and then you put some like ad spend behind them.
Of course, yes. That's the only type of ads you will ever see on TikTok. Like, there is no millennial boomer out there making ads that actually convert.
What are your thoughts on long form?
Long form?
Mm-hmm.
Long form is dead. The only reason to do long form ever is to clip a long form. And I think like the viewership of people who do long form, it will just be 2 orders of magnitude lower than the viewership of people who will see the highlights.
But your demo video, the like cinematic launch video, that was pretty long form feeling. High production value. The editing was there. That was a long form piece of content. And I'd argue that sort of flagship piece is where I was like, okay, this is cool. Like this isn't, you can brain rot, but you can also do some like high quality stuff.
I think on like I'm saying, X is so behind. Like X will eventually develop into a place where I truly think like things will have to be 10 times more controversial and engagement baity, and it will also have to be 10 times shorter. But right now, like it's just so novel of a concept that people will watch the entire minute 30 long launch video and just be like intrigued all the way throughout. But like the brain ratification of everything is like it's happening. It's like inevitable. And it will happen to tech as well, just as soon as people start figuring out that this is what the algorithm rewards.
We're already seeing the brain ratification of like government and the White House and these institutions that like you would think would be very resilient to brain rot. I'm excited to see the Queen of England tap into brain rot, bro.
Bro, that would be crazy, bro.
That would be elite.
Yeah, every single person, even at the highest levels, like we're beginning to tap into this. I mean, like Trump is like the most brain rotted president we've ever had in history.
Skibidi toilets are the new thrones.
Okay. I agree with you. I agree with the messaging.
Do you think there's a contrarian play to be made here of like being non-brain rot and super, like I'm noticing a lot of people that I'm talking to are like, oh, I like don't do content. I'm stealth, like almost this vibe of they're above it or rejecting it, right? Like they're rejecting the culture of constant mass marketing and content creation. Do you think there's a strategy there?
I mean, not at all. I still think the contrarian play is still to like be brain rotted as a company. Like it is not mainstream at all yet for you to do what like essentially the Roy Lee playbook of like be super controversial and get as many views as possible. That's not yet mainstream. Like even in the future, it won't be mainstream. I mean, like it's just this ability to just go out there and get 100 million people in the world to see something that you're doing is so powerful. Like never before in the human history have we ever had this opportunity. And I genuinely think this might be a bigger opportunity than AI. Like to not take advantage of this and just be like posting content that the algorithm will reward is one of the biggest fumbles you can make in your life.
This is arguably not a new thing. We've had social media for a while. Why is it that the tech industry hasn't really hopped onto this yet? It feels like, it feels so obvious.
There's 2 reasons for this, in my opinion. I think like previously, like a few years ago, YouTube was sort of like the main thing people would watch. And on YouTube, there's like long form videos, and you would never ever even watch an ad. Like if something even remotely resembled an ad, you just wouldn't give it the time of day to watch. And you'd watch like funny skits, you'd watch documentaries, you'd watch, I don't know, like you would just watch long form that is just definitely not commercial. So it's really hard to have like a commercial product and like launch ads on YouTube that would get watched. All of a sudden, one day society shifted and we started watching way more short form content. Now there's just not as much content being produced that is quality. And there's just so much like brain rot out. Like you have to scroll through 100 Subway Surfer reels because like that's the only way to get to the one good quality content. Like there's just such a gigantic mismatch between the amount of content creators and the amount of content people watch. As a result, now you have this opportunity to generate hundreds of millions of views with some random short form content, and people will actually watch the ads because you can't choose to watch something. You just watch what the algorithm gives you. And there's not enough content, so like things like ads will just get like funneled through. And the reason tech specifically hasn't caught on is because tech bros are not usually like the most socially savvy, and they don't actually understand that like they don't know the hottest trends. That's A. And I think B, it's just like this is a pretty novel time in humanity. Like most companies, period, haven't caught on. And for you to be able to catch on, you have to be young and pretty content brained. And the only people that are young and content brained are like new Gen Z founders, and they're just like they're still growing up into building companies. And I think I'm the first of many, but believe me, there are many.
I believe that. Totally believe that. Fascinating. What would be your advice for founders wanting to get started with this and learn?
Getting started with brain rot?
Yeah, just content marketing in general as a strategy for company building.
I'd say just scroll. It's really easy to do if you have viral sense. If you have someone who's capable of generating hooks, someone who's capable of like discovering which content creators are in your niche and like capable of producing good content, you have someone with like an eye for this, then it's literally the easiest thing in the world. All you have to do is round them up, offer to pay them a flat fee, and then just have them rake millions of views for you. Like it's so easy. But like the one thing that is extremely hard to find is someone with that viral sense. You need someone who scrolls, and I feel like I'm beginning to think that it's not just scrolls a lot. Has scrolled a lot for like the past X amount of years. I think this fundamentally requires someone to be like pretty young, honestly.
That makes sense. I think there's certain things where older people are better at, other things younger people are better at. Content marketing feels like something younger people would be better at for sure.
I agree.
Intuitively so. How do you think about building culture and balancing, obviously this like hyper sort of outwardly polarizing approach, but then still needing to manage things like finances and, before we went for this drive, you're like, I'm actually talking to my lawyer. That's some serious shit. How do you balance that?
I mean, I think, in reality, like you might think we're the craziest people ever, but 80 to 90% of the time we just operate as if we are a regular company, and everyone is like heads down working, it's quiet, and we're just like working on things. But it's the 10-20% of the day where we're like, okay, let's get together, think of the craziest shit. What is the craziest shit you've seen in the last week? And how can we do something that like matches that and gets that similar amount of impressions? But in reality, it takes work to build a company, and you can't just be controversial and polarizing all day.
Yeah, completely agreed. And I do think if people were to just take 10 to 20% of their time and push the boundaries, and not just like be contrarian for the sake of being contrarian, but like, you need the highlight reel, but it's also just a highlight reel.
Yeah, exactly.
You also got to do the
things
work.
that have actually been going on. Yeah. And this is something that I've been saying. If every single founder stopped, like working 100% and spend 10 to 20% of their time working on like making their content go viral in the way that it is obvious how, like your company would just grow so much faster. And just, people are just unable to understand this, I think.
What have been some of the most magical things beyond, a $15 million check that have happened as a result of some of the content you put out there?
I got Mr. Beast followed me the other day.
Congrats.
We had a very brief conversation. Yeah, that was cool. Reid Hoffman followed me. That was like pretty crazy.
Fuck yeah.
But I think like the most magical thing is just obviously I feel like I'm right now at the center of the tech world. And it is crazy that my one hypothesis of IG, LinkedIn, like X LinkedIn has not caught up to IG, TikTok in the maturity of the algorithm and the maturity of content. I think that one hypothesis literally skyrocketed me into like extreme notoriety, I feel.
How do you feel about longevity, and do you feel a pressure to stay relevant?
I'm beginning to think that there might not be as much of a concern about longevity as I thought. Again, like you only need to be the hottest, most controversial thing until you hit escape velocity as a company. And then like your company will grow the way every successful company has grown in the past. But until that point, you kind of have to like be on the edge. And I think right now, it does not take too long to hit escape velocity as a company. Like revenue timelines are so compressed, and AI just lets you build and iterate so much faster. And like right now, like every single day, the product looks pretty massively different. And like it's clear that one day we'll hit something that is really magical, and all I will need to do is have my content and my algo will survive until then.
Interesting. So you're viewing this as like a hook to escape velocity, and then from there, you know, it's product, but adding fuel to the fire with the content.
Of course, yes,
that's happening.
Yes. I think you'll need to push so many buttons as you're trying to like hit escape velocity. But once you're there, then you can sort of like button up a little bit. Do what the Paul brothers did.
Speaking of escape velocity, you were profitable before raising. Why did you decide to raise if you were already profitable?
I mean, I think timelines are so compressed, and we're profitable. Like, sure, we're making 3 mil ARR. Like, we were making 3 mil ARR. But I mean, like, what are we gonna build? Like, the next, like, the future of human-computer interaction with $3 million? Like, obviously not. I think investor money, it just adds fuel to a growing fire. And right now, like, I feel like everything people know about fundraising, company building, is just like it's just been flipped upside its head. Things happen so fast, so quick, and things blow up so fast right now that I feel like you can't make any sort of accurate projections at all.
Interesting. There is a lot of chaos and speed right now, and people just aren't used to that.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting if you look at like the history behind ADHD and why it evolved. Is we were in hunter-gatherer times, and constant novelty seeking, pattern recognition, the ability to take advantage of chaos was a huge evolutionary advantage. And then we shifted to this time where society was all about farming and stability and predictability, and as a result, having more like farming-like approaches to life that required stability were more advantageous. And now all of a sudden it feels like we're back to hunter-gatherer times where things are chaotic, we can't really predict the future, we need to be moving fast, and it's a super interesting time to be alive.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, founders are getting younger, companies are getting built faster, and like truly, there's a new generation of founders, and the playbook is just extremely different. And I think probably this year is the year where things change.
What do you look for in a founder?
What do you mean a founder? Like,
I mean, I know you're not an investor, but I'm curious. Say you were, what would you be looking at?
There's some early stage guys who I think are just total killers, and these guys are usually like 17, 18. Many years younger than me. Their technical ability is like pretty off the charts. But also they seem to understand, like, I think about half of them are super content native, like Eric Xu, and about half of them are super AI native. And they have, like, I feel like different philosophies on how lean they expect the company to be, the bets they're making on AI and the things that they're making. They're just like, ooh. Whoa, you're good. In my opinion, like, they're just swinging way bigger than everyone else is on how big of a bet they're making on AI.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like there's just not that many people who are out there trying to found companies. I say this in almost every interview, but I think people just need to take bigger risks. And there's young people out there who are taking huge risks, and those are the founders that I'm most bullish on, like the people that are willing to swing big.
What types of risks should people be taking, and where do you find people are holding themselves back?
I think content is probably like the biggest risk you should be taking. The reason why there's a mismatch in content quantity and content creators is because too many people are scared to like get in front of a camera. Like this social anxiety is or this camera shyness is just crazy, and I think that is the big risk you should take. And secondly, I think it's just your career right now is not as stable as it was a few decades ago. The job at Meta might not be as stable as you think it is. Mm-hmm. And in reality, like, I think people perhaps maybe not take bigger risks, but reevaluate your risk calculations in a world where AI is changing everything.
Yes. Any structures that were traditionally stable are no longer stable. And so it is now a game of just upside maximization. And if you're looking across any institution, whether it's a big tech company or universities or traditionally steady career paths, all of those have just been, the rug has been pulled out from beneath them so fast that a risk reduction strategy is actually incredibly risky.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. And it seems like the youngest founders I know like understand this, and like the least risky thing you can do is bet big on AI, in my opinion.
Yes, I think people are betting big on AI, not necessarily always in the right ways, but betting on yourself, betting on putting yourself out there. Those are fundamental, like, human limitations to why people don't do things. Like betting on AI is like, okay, this is productive, so we're going to use it. I struggle to understand why someone wouldn't do that, but I do kind of understand why someone wouldn't go behind a camera, because there's that fear of rejection. Have you ever felt that way, or have any of the comments or quote unquote hate ever affected you?
There's one comment made by this guy on X. There's like a comment about like his parents must have raised him so poorly. That's the only comment that I've ever felt like a visceral anger at. But other than that, like generally, I'm very, very good at receiving hate. I think my parents did an amazing job raising me, and I think I'm like a pretty polarizing figure. But I'm very happy with like any hate received towards me. Like I truly just, there's no great person. Every single person I admire, we post a picture of them on Instagram, there's just a million people that just hate and like will say, like, this is an evil billionaire. And like the most powerful person in the world, the president of America, he literally gets there by having 51% of people like him and 49% of people hate him. And it's just obvious that if you want to be someone big and influential, you have to be controversial, and there's just no way around it. In the end state, the most important figure, or like the person with the most influence, has half the world like loving him or her, and half the world like hating him. And it's just inevitable. I feel like you see this with literally every single figure. There's not a single person who's in prominence who just has like universal support.
Yeah. I think in order to cut through the noise, you need to be opinionated. If you're opinionated, you are polarizing. It's something that's hard to escape. That being said, sometimes I wonder if people intentionally polarize, not with an intention behind it, but just for the sake of engagement. So how do you think about virality and getting hits versus like actually putting stuff out there that feels very authentic to you?
I think everything I post is like, it is an authentic sliver of my life. Like there's nothing I post that I don't genuinely believe in.
Got it. So it's like an authentic sliver that's amplified or obviously whenever you're posting anything, things are going to be artistically exaggerated because that's kind of how you express yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of like that. Virality and authenticity are not necessarily opposed. Oftentimes they're aligned.
Like even like controversial, like the most authentic person online is probably like fucking Donald Trump or Elon Musk, and they're the most controversial figures. They literally post anything that comes to mind, and it's like crazy. But half people love what they do, and half people really hate what they do, and it's just like inevitable.
How did you know you wanted to work in the technology industry versus be a content creator in Los Angeles?
I think this is like such a fundamental difference, and I think this is probably my least favorite criticism that people have of me. It's like, oh, he's just trying to be an influencer. I think back in our ancestral days, the two most famous people in the tribe were A, the guy who told stories by the fire, and B, the guy who brought back the woolly mammoth, the king of the jungle, and fed everybody for 2 months. And these people were equally famous, had equal clout, but in reality, I don't want to be the fucking storyteller who's known and famous for telling stories by the fire. I want to be the guy who's known for like killing the woolly mammoth. And sure, the guy who killed the woolly mammoth can go out and tell stories about him killing the woolly mammoth, but he doesn't tell stories like there's substance. There's like something behind his influence, and I think that is what uniquely attracts me. I don't just want to be an influencer who's like my end game, or like the entirety of who I am ends with the amount of attention that I command. Like I would really like it is a critical biological primal need for me to have something, a woolly mammoth, and for me that is changing the world with technology.
Mic drop.
This is, I feel like everyone gets this wrong, and they just don't understand that.
Yeah, it's like having a platform is a way to amplify something. You need to have something worthy of amplifying. You're like, what is the point of all the attention?
Exactly.
And if there's a purpose behind it, I think it can be a very powerful career. Influencing for the sake of influence is not very influential.
That's what I'm saying, man. And you can develop the influence first and then build a company later, like Mr. Beast, Jake Paul, or you can just do them both at the same time. And I think I think I am unique in that I'm doing this right now. And also, I'm also unique that it's like a software company that I'm building. I don't know that this has ever been attempted in this dramatic of a fashion, like in history, where someone is simultaneously building the influence and the capturing of attention while also building a company.
I haven't seen it before.
Yeah, I mean, it is also only possible in like this specific point in history. Like, it is only possible right now with the convergence of AI and short form content, I think.
Yes, the timing is now unlocked this like new possible marketing strategy that I haven't really seen before, and I'll definitely be keeping more of an eye on it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you will, like, I feel like even in the next month, the amount of launch videos you'll see that'll try and emulate the cinema quality and controversialness, like browser-based Series B announcement, they tried to rip the playbook, and they even had the same director we had. It's just like obvious, like people see there is something very strong here.
Fascinating. I think I remember them mentioning in a tweet that their party wasn't shut down, which was obviously a nod to the fact that yours was.
Yeah.
I'm finding it interesting to see people in the tech world almost have these celebrity controversies, and those controversies actually being positive sum for both of them. To what extent do you think some of these like PR kind of things going on are coordinated versus genuine attacks by people at each other?
Probably 50-50. Like, about, a lot of the PR on Glue is just inevitable. Like, random people will write up a meta-analysis blog post on why I shook with my left hand, and there's some bullshit. It's like it's really not that deep.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, like there's a ton of comments saying like what does it mean for the company that he shook with his left hand? Do a deep dive, and they'll do like deep dives on like random shit that I think like even I don't think about any of this stuff, and a lot of like that PR, like the stripper PR, that was like semi. So the context is we had strippers over for a commercial, and like what our CMO made a video saying, hey, we have some strippers and some goats over for a crazy commercial that we're shooting, and then someone took like an out of context picture and said like, yo, they're getting lap dances at the office. And in that sense, like it was sort of planned in that we like publicly posted this, but it was not planned in that they took like an out of context screenshot.
Gotcha. How did you think about that, and was there pushback against something like genuinely super controversial?
I thought it was pretty funny. I didn't really think it was like there's anything to be worried about until I started getting calls from like investors. Like, what's going on here?
What were some of those calls like?
No, it was like pretty like just investor concern. You know, like, hey, what is going on? Like, why am I seeing this on my timeline? And then I said, like, I thought, like, hey, it's not that big a deal. We just had a commercial, and then we said, okay, let's just keep quiet and like pass over this.
Fascinating. Were there any investors that responded favorably?
Maybe not directly favorably. They're like, obviously when one of my big swings goes well, then they will all respond favorably, and they'll be like, oh my God, great job on the latest video, and whatever. But I think at this point, like, there's been enough really good PR and enough really bad PR that my investors too, I think they have like some fatigue, and now they're just like, kind of don't comment, and just like, you sure this is the right thing to do? And they just like trust my content brain, my knowledge of the algorithm to
Interesting, because investors will always tell you take more risk, but it seems like the type of risk people aren't really willing to take in this industry is like PR risk, or the risk to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to risk failure or risk losing a lot of money, but I think the hardest thing to do is to risk looking dumb, or to risk embarrassing yourself, or to risk losing your reputation, or whatever it may be. And that's just so primally scary.
Especially on tech Twitter, man. This is like, it's just a bunch of people who are desperately trying to look smarter than the other people. And I think that's like a big part of the reason why tech Twitter is not actually mainstream. Is not because like I really don't think that technology is like that crazy. But like people are in a hurry to try and make themselves seem deliberately like confusing, or like someone will write up a thread on crypto, and maybe there's 200 people in the world who understand what he's saying. And it's just like it's not digestible for the consumer. And I think right now, like, some of my content is the most digestible tech and AI has ever been for a consumer.
Making something digestible is a lot of work, and I actually really respect how you're thinking about all of these stunts from a pretty honestly mechanical and like strategic mindset. There's a lot of brain that needs to go behind brain rot.
Yeah. I mean, I do think this is actually like I think the launch video.
Mr. Beast, like a quintessential example of this.
Literally, yeah. His content is so digestible. You can look at the thumbnail and the title, and you can immediately understand where it's about to go on. Immediately, you're intrigued. And I think that's what we've done with the launch video too. Like immediately, you will see, oh, he's using AI on a date. What is this? And immediately, you're intrigued and you get it because the concept is simple and it resonates with a bunch of people. And it's not a product demo that goes into the intricacies of like what model we use or whatever. Like it's literally just it's something that is digestible for anybody, but it still gets the message across of like using AI when someone else doesn't know that you're using AI and you're using it real time in a conversation. And like it gets that message across.
Yeah.
But it does it in a way that's actually digestible. And I think this is where content.
It's cool that the outer layer of your strategy is like ultra engaging, entertaining, digestible, lowest common denominator type content. But then as you peel the layers, you see more and more of the complexity, and the people that know you better know you talk about like Apple's design system and why translucent design is important to having interfaces that integrate with other workflows and eventually integrate with our realities, and how brain-computer interfaces will be a way in which we interact with AI. And that is like something you work your way up towards.
Yeah.
But it's not the first message that you need to get someone interested, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you entirely.
Dude, this is cool. Definitely so much to learn. I'd love to learn more from like your content / clips team on how they're executing things. Definitely want to get better at like some of the cross-platform Instagram, TikTok stuff. I haven't posted any videos to Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, you totally should. Yeah, I mean, we have like literally a team, like the entire marketing team is big on IG, TikTok. Every single one of them will have like they'll be opinionated in a different way about content, but they will all be correct in like their
I guess the reason I don't is I'm like, okay, who out there cares about these tech people thoughts on Instagram and TikTok?
I feel like it also has so much to do with like delivery and the hook. Like for example, like a question could be like, why do you guys spend so much money? And then immediately that will just like make people on TikTok.
What's the most you've spent money on in the past couple weeks?
We spent $100,000 on a camera, and we spent $1.5 million on a rave.
Whoa.
We're going to throw an official Cooley rave, and that's going to happen in a few months, but we're not doing the advertising for that yet. But it's going to be crazy. It will be like probably our biggest marketing swing ever.
Wow. Okay, I'm actually super excited for that. Backstage passes?
Of course.
All right.
Yes.
I'm loving the way this Andreessen money is being spent.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you think about taking these really big swings, but also at the end of the day, you have a fiduciary responsibility to your investors, to your team, to yourself, to your...
Yeah. I mean, I think inevitably all these things will convert to something that is like, and it's impossible for Andreessen to say that I'm making the wrong decision.
Because they do that too.
Well, both they do that, but they've also they've never seen this done before. And it's one thing to say you're burning money, like you're burning investor money on parties, but like this, we've seen this play out a million times and it's all gone to shit. Like you haven't seen this play out a million times. Right now we're in a unique point in culture where it is possible for this to be played out in a way that converts to 100 billion views a month. And if that really happens, like imagine we get 100 billion views a month. Like the $15 million Andreessen check is going to mean literally nothing. Like it's literally, you've captured the attention of the world over and over and over again. And $15 million for that is the biggest discount you could ever get in your life. So it's hard for anybody to say like you're misdirectioning the company. Like this is not the correct direction, because how can you possibly tell I'm doing something that's never been attempted before? Yeah, and I think like there's also like clear EV in all the stunts that I'm doing. If nothing else, these are expensive experiments that I'm conducting. That also just the worst case of an experiment is I go hyper viral and I get talked about.
With a lot of traditional sort of social media marketing, you would say, okay, what's my cost per mil? What's my customer acquisition cost as a result? And everything is very clearly attributable.
Got it.
With something like a tech rave, it's very hard to like attribute, okay, this initiative resulted in this amount of results. So how are you able to still take these really big swings when you don't necessarily know the attribution?
I think generally in a world of short form content, the algorithm moves too fast for you to even like try and track conversions. Say I come up with one viral hook and I discover 4 days later, hey, this viral hook is it does super well, like it's super highly converting. Like boom, like you wake up the next day and it's expired. Nobody wants to see it anymore. It lost its viral sense. And I truly think that you need to like, you can't spend time worrying about conversions anymore. Because the second that your numbers actually start making any sense or like meeting anything, like your format is expired. In which case, the only thing you have to worry about is just like a general direction of am I going towards a future where we are the most brand, like we have the highest brand awareness in the world, and people will eventually actually see the product and glean some use from it. And if you just know that,
That is an incredible insight.
that's also the reason why you raise money when you're profitable, because you need to like be able to spend big, because you don't know if like everything you're doing is actually like net negative. But
Well, speaking on getting profitable, you should get back to work, bud. It was a great drive. All right, get cooking.
all right, brother, it's good having you,
Yeah,
man.
bro.